Master your emotions. How to unlock unshakable control and confidence. What up? It's Deej, Laney Davis. And if you're following through this journey, we're still going through this reality creation framework. And we're now moving into what I think is the most important piece of the puzzle to increase your wealth, to manage your money, to enhance your relationships, to work more productively and proly, and to optimize yourself, your behavior, your mind, your body, everything to achieve the results and the goals and the vision you have for your life. So, emotional mastery for me is that critical element. Now, I am quite an emotional man, which on a spectrum of things is quite a rare case. Most men are very subdued, and that's through our conditioning and through our upbringing, particularly for myself, growing up in New Zealand, which is all about rugby and drinking. The whole point of emotions is not to be expressed. So for me to navigate the world of emotions through understanding psychology and the decade long of personal transformation and optimization I've been going on, the work of working on my emotions has been the breakthroughs in every area of life that I was truly craving. See, there's a big difference between emotional mastery and emotional intelligence. See, emotional intelligence is being like, I'm angry at that person. Where emotional mastery is not even getting angry in the first place because you can control your temper, control your reactions, and be that true master of your emotions. Now, this isn't about suppressing your emotions and being numb. That is not emotional mastery. Many people think that being numb and being stoic and being chill is, emotional mastery, but that's actually repressing it. See, emotions are meant to come out. They're like a fart. They're meant to come. We're meant to smell them. We're meant to feel them. We're meant to express them, and then they go away. So many of us are resentful and low energy and heavy because we're holding on to emotions for dear life. But here's one of the truths that really set me free is only negative emotions require energy. What if you just let them go? What if you just let go of that guilt, let go of that shame, let go of that resentment? How freeing is that? No longer looking at someone being like, I hate you, you upset me, you anger me, you piss me off, and just let them be. Just let it go. See, in this moment of letting go, that neutrality, that feeling of peace, that feeling of choice, that is emotional mastery, where you get to choose, should I attack this person or should I leave? Should I express how upset I am or should I be joyful that they're even here? There's so many contexts in life where emotions come up, where navigating and understanding and mastering each and every single one to a point of neutrality is emotional mastery. Say, for example, money, finances. If you're emotionally stressed and the natural default belief about money is hard to make and hard to hang on to, then investing is be a nightmare for you. Investing would dip a little bit, the market would correct a little bit, and you'd probably sell at the bottom and lose your money because you haven't mastered the emotional response to money and external stimuli associated with it. See, true mastery would be able to see through the information of what is occurring in the market and being able to emotionally and logically make a better decision. Say, for example, you're in an argument with your partner about something. Without emotional mastery, you might yell, you might say something you regret. Because a lot of times, anger is actually a secondary emotion. Anger is not an emotion, it's a tool that humans use to defend and protect themselves. Don't believe me? Visualize growing up, and one of your parents might be giving you a verbal walloping, just absolutely laying it on you. And then the phone rings or the door knocks. And what happens? Smile comes on, open the door, answer the phone. Oh, hi, Cheryl. How's it going? Are you having a good day? Yeah, I'm having a great day. Oh, yeah, I'm just in the middle of something. Can I call you back? Oh, yeah, no problem. Hanging up. Bang, the anger comes back on. They're screaming at you. Anger is a tool, and you must get under anger and understand what's really going on inside your system. The only reason anyone is yelling is because there is an inner child, an inner traumatic response that feels unsafe and needs protection. So anger comes out. And if you can heal and hold on to and heal that inner child, that inner trauma, anger vanishes. There's so many things or modalities right now around expressing your anger and it's okay, you should be able to yell at people, blah, blah, blah. Hell no. It is never okay to yell at someone. That is just as bad as hitting them. Verbal anger is toxic. I grew up in a very angry household, and it's taken a decade plus of therapy transformation to get that residual anger out of my system. And what happens when you do this work and you really start mastering and holding these emotions is then you can what's called be with emotions. And that means that you can hold people in their anger. And for a man, this is your ultimate goal on who you should be for your partner and for your children. To be able to be with the emotion, to be able to hold your partner in their fits of rage, their passionate expressions, their creative overload, their ideation, their flurry, that beautiful feminine radiance of creation. You should be able to hold it, that chaos, if you will, and be okay with it and hold it and grow with it and be with it because you've mastered your emotions rather than trying to suppress and control and shrink. See, the masculine energy wants to shrink an emotion, wants to numb it down, to put it in its box. The feminine energy wants to expand an emotion, to create it, to elevate it, to make it more, right? Women express more, communicate more. Men shrink more and simplify and say, oh, just do that. Because we're trying to navigate these emotions in unnatural states of being. Because see, men actually experience 1/10 of the emotional expression women do. Just think about the female and male orgasm. Male orgasm, female orgasm, multiple times, multiple minutes. It's way more expressive. The same thing goes with all emotions. Even just look at female smiles. They're so much bigger than any male smile. So the power of emotional regulation. You may have heard this notion around regulating or nervous system and really what comes with this. And when you do this work of nervous system regulation and emotional regulation, you essentially get more bandwidth. You get more oomph. You get more power for your money. You get more ROI because your glass is not full. If you're wound up, you're stressed out, you're completely dysregulated, you are just waiting to tip over. You're a full glass that's about to overflow. But if you can regulate, calm your nervous system, you get more bandwidth and you can take on more risk, take on more opportunities. That's why if you're like really, really stressed out at work or in your business, and then you go and do a huge, massive workout that's incredible, like high intensity HIIT training that's stressed out, and then you go home and you've got raging kids everywhere, or your partner's upset, and it's just stress, 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 stress. Of course, something's going to break. You're going to snap at your partner. You're going to make a bad decision in business, or you're going to injure yourself in sport. The body can only take so much stress. So the power of emotional regulation is you have to get really good at elevating your stress to take action and really good at coming back down. So it's really understanding your emotional flows throughout the day of your hyper and hypo energy. Now, for me personally, I start the day really, really low, and I go to the gym in the morning and do various things to get my energy up. And then I have to find that optimum stress level so I can work. And then when I want to engage with friends or engage with my partner, I need to bring it back down again. Because if I charge home and strive in the door and break in the door, something's going to probably erupt because I'm in a high stress state. So the best way to regulate your nervous system and your emotional is just slow the fuck down, right? Just remember, just drop the shoulders. If you're furiously brushing your teeth, try to slow down, do it the other hand. If you're racing to the next meeting or racing to your next appointment or boosting home while you're walking or biking, just slow down. There's a beautiful study done on a university campus of where people were staying and where their lectures were. And they timed people's routes and the level of intensity they took to get there. And there'll be certain participants, they were told to bike as hard as they possibly could. And they ended up getting there in about 42 minutes. And then there was told people to just take their time, enjoy the views, and look around. And they would get there on average every 44 minutes. Now, this is a beautiful case and point that there's almost no point in rushing. When you rush, you only get about the 10% ROI for it, but the 90% deficit on your nervous system, on your relationships, on all your other emotional states is huge. Some other winners are the psychological sigh, just relieves so much emotional tension. Do it right now. Do a psychological sigh. And really slowing down your exhales is a brilliant way to manage your emotional state. Now, the goodie is taking your shoes off, really getting grounded. Eating is also very good to regulate and bring down your emotional intensity, emotional states. And of course, really managing your workload. Carl Newport's deep work sessions, like an hour and a half work and then at least 15 minutes break, and really having a real break, not going on your fucking phone, not watching some other thing, not learning some other thing, not doing a quick little admin task, an actual complete reset. Even closing your eyes, even just for 5 minutes, can completely reset your state, your emotional state, and your mind, and you'll feel so freaking amazing. The other thing is fuck the 5 a.m. club, join the nap club. Taking a nap in the afternoon between 2 and 3 p.m. is incredible reset, and you'll get a whole nother deep work session and a deeper emotional regulated state from having a nap. You'll get a complete nervous system reset by having a 20-minute nap in that late afternoon. It is just muito bom. So now let's move on to more advanced level stuff. How do you become an architect of your emotions? How can you intentionally create emotions that align with your goals and your visions? And how can you understand your real emotional state? So, looking at this table here, this is the levels of energy. And the levels of energy is essentially emotions, because emotions are just energy in motion. They are things flowing through us, moving through us, reacting and responding to the external world around us, all based on past based cue stimulus responses. If you don't get this one, go watch the beliefs video or the identity video to really understand this reality creation and how emotions are a final result of a past based experience. So, the first thing I get all of our clients to do in our seminars or in our coaching is identify what I call your emotional home. Now, your emotional home is your lowest state you feel in peak stress, peak overwhelm. The world is crashing. Your life is a mess. You're stressed, you're overwhelmed, whatever the emotional state is. What is that lowest level? It might be guilt or shame or anger or frustration or numb, bored. What is your lowest level? And then go to the peak. What is the optimum peak emotion you feel on a day to day, week to week kind of basis? You know, if you're really expressing joy and laughing and generating yourself in that state, you're more at that joy level. Or perhaps it's just blah and you're just in that bored level. Really look at that range. And I guarantee from that high to the low, in between those, you probably feel those emotions on a regular basis as well. Give it a week or a month time frame. Now, when you've identified your emotional home, it's key to be radically honest here. Because if you're not honest with where you are, how is the Uber driver going to pick you up and take you where you want to go? You need to pinpoint your exact current location in order to go to where you want to go. Now, for myself, I've spent a lot of my early 20s and my teen years in deep depression, shame, and guilt. My emotional home was between depressed and numb. That was it, right? And I've spent a decade plus trying to elevate my emotional state and get myself out of these emotional holes and into new states. And what's critical is healing those deep seated shame and guilt emotions, those things we did in our teens and our childhood that we might think nothing of and get an intrusive thought now and then and sweep under the rug. You really have to look at those. Just like a song stuck in your head, it won't get out of your head until you complete the story, until you get the emotional lesson and the logical lesson. You separate the facts, the emotions, and the state and the stories behind whatever that intrusive memory is to really release it. You shouldn't get a random recall of an emotion, of a negative event, unless there's something for you to get there, a lesson, a story, something to heal, not just repress it. Now, a word of warning when you start doing this emotional levels of mastery is something crazy will happen. Is when I started really doing this work and I got free from the depression, I got free from those heavy grief, shame level of emotions, I started getting angry. And I had never experienced anger as an adult. Of course, fits of rage and things in teen years and youth, but never as an adult, never at my partner, never at my team, never at random strangers, right? And this is because my emotional home increased. I no longer, in times of stress, fell into that world of depression and numb. I then fell into anger and frustration. So I had to redo this work, redo these processes on that, understand the stories, understand the things beneath the anger and what was really going on to heal and construct it and elevate myself out of that. And now I'm in this new world, this new emotional home of dealing with anxiety. And I've never, ever, ever subscribed to the notion of anxiety. So now, with my therapist and through other somatic work, I'm deeply navigating that to try and increase and elevate my emotional states up and up and up and up. And what happens is it's like a whole block. And when you work on the bottom emotion, it moves up. And all of a sudden, you can access these higher emotional states, these more intense emotional states, to really expand and elevate your experience of life. Because at the end of the day, emotions is all we have. Really, if you take everything away, your whole existence, your whole input output reality is just reacting to stuff in an emotional way and feeling something. That is the true experience of our lives. So, there are lots of guided processes you can do as well to elevate your emotional mastery. One is this concept of neutrality, on how you can create that emotional mastery and control towards something you perhaps desire. Say you want to make more money. What you do in this exercise is you essentially go towards and away from money. You feel that intense desire, which is actually a state of lack, and then you feel an intense state of repulsion, of pushing it away, of not wanting it. And you really navigate and feel this difference between desire, neutrality, and pushing it away. Want, nothing, and against. And you flow freely between these. And you can do this with money. You can do this with a specific emotion like guilt and shame, anger, frustration, depression, joy, boredom, whatever it is. And you can feel flowing towards it, wanting it, and then pushing it away and not wanting it. And you flow. And what you'll feel is when you finally find it in your body, you'll be able to expand it, contract it, expand it, contract it, expand it, contract it, expand it. And you'll become free. You'll then have a choice. You'll be able to control your emotional state. You'll be able to be with this emotion from other people. If someone is, say, crying, you can actually hold them in that space. If a loved one is dealing with a panic attack or intense anxiety or depression, you can be with it. You can hold it because you have been there and you have created that emotional mastery, emotional neutrality between it. This is one of my biggest pet peeves with people who say they are emotionally intelligent or they do emotional intelligent courses. And basically, all they do is learn the 250 emotions that we have in the English language and they call themselves emotional masters. But they've never felt it, they've never experienced. That's why choosing the right therapist or the right coach, the right mentor is critical, that they have logically, emotionally, and actually created and experienced whatever it is you want to experience in this world. Because if they haven't embodied the thought, the emotion, and the actual doing, there's no point working with them. You must have full mastery in the logic, in the emotion, and the action. That is how you truly evolve and elevate and experience and live your life fully, powerfully, achieve your goals. All of it is through this emotional mastery. So, really take a screenshot of this chart and really understand the levels of energy and levels of emotion. Really look at how where each of these come up for you in your life and how you can feel that energy towards it and away from it. What one's the heaviest for you that feel the most intense? The lowest ones, that's where you should start your work. Now, this is going to be dense. This is going to feel heavy. This is going to feel overwhelming, but this will elevate you to that new levels of reality. The next one is you can start looking at objects and things external to you and the level of energy or the level of emotion you put on it. And you can start with neutral things like the drawers in your bedroom, and then things like the TV or the food you're eating or cars you like or boats you like or lifestyles or countries or people and everything. And you can start experiencing the level of emotion that that thing might be aspiring and having, and how you can create neutrality for it will then increase its likelihood of coming towards you in manifestation, because you're no longer pushing or repelling it. You're an open vessel or an open channel to it because you are neutral to it. That's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. So emotional mastery is the key to create unbridled levels of control and success and confidence and productivity in your work, in your business, with your money, with your relationships, with your friends, with your children, all of it. Learn to master your emotions and you'll master the world. Love your work. D.